Good evening, Bezat Hashem. Tonight the shiur is dedicated Leilui Nishmat Moshe Chai ben Bilha, Ruach Hashem Tenechenu Began Eden, also Rita Mazal Bat Marus, and Refuah Shlema to all Am Yisrael, Bezat Hashem. Today's topic, we're talking about cleaning, not cleaning the house, but cleaning in general. The Ramchal, Rabbi Moshe Lutzato, he says that any spiritual growth has to come through a cleaning process. We have to be clean. And I want to talk today about the importance of being clean in general, physically, and also the connection of that to the spiritual cleaning. And there's a lot of secrets in this topic. There's a lot of new ideas and sgulot that we can learn from it. And Bezat Hashem, we'll see how important it is to keep our house, ourselves, our souls clean. And Bezat Hashem, that will give a lot of bracha. We'll see how it's connected to parnasa, to the income of the person. Sometimes we have some blocks to the parnasa, and one of the reasons of that is that we're not clean. That's what the Baal Shem Tov says. We'll see exactly what it is and how to fix it. Same is spiritual growth, as we said before. A person that wants to be a tzaddik, wants to grow spiritually, be closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we'll see that it's impossible to be close to Hashem unless we become like Hashem. And in the world of Hashem, everything is clean. We're going to prove that, Bezat Hashem. So, usually I talk about those topics before Pesach, because Pesach is a cleaning time. But I think now we are in such a time, an interesting time, that a lot of people ask me, what's happening in the world? So I'm telling people that what's happening is cleaning. Hashem is cleaning. What is cleaning? All the mess that happened for a lot of years, all the tenth, all the wrong ideas, wrong behavior that the world was influenced by. We created that. So now we're in a process of cleaning, and Baruch Hashem, so everything is for good. This time is for good, so I think it's a good time to talk about cleaning. We can, if we look at the Torah, if we look at the Talmud, if we look at the Zohar, they always talk about cleaning. We see, for example, that the Jews always were very clean. Do netilat yadayim before we eat, after we wake up in the morning, go to mikveh, men, women. That's right, that the main reason why we wash our hands and we go to the mikveh, it's a spiritual reason. It's a spiritual cleaning. But with this together comes the physical cleaning, right? We clean ourselves, we do netilat yadayim because there's a spiritual thing in it, but also it makes the body more clean. And there was a long time ago, I think it was in the 14th century, that there was the Black Plague in the world, in Europe, and a lot of people died. And most of the Jewish communities, it even didn't touch them. Somehow all the other, or the non-Jews, they were dying, and the Jews, Baruch Hashem, nothing happened to them. So a lot of people started to talk and say, oh, it's all because of the Jews made this plague, and all these things. But the real reason why the Jews were not affected by that plague is because they were very clean. Plagues back in the days, most of the plagues came because the place where people were living was a not clean place. The water was spoiled sometimes. The air was also not clean air. And that what caused a lot of plagues and people dying. Today, people don't die as they used to. One of the main reasons is because everything is clean. Even the washrooms today, you can see that are very, very clean. Sometimes more clean than a house. You go to certain washrooms, you see, and you see that they are very, very clean. And back in the days, it was not like that. If someone used to go to the bathroom, so that place, they didn't have water, and they didn't have all these systems that we have today to clean after ourselves. So that's why it used to make a lot of a bad air. That's what the Rambam says, and caused a lot of plagues, caused a lot of diseases. So Baruch Hashem, today people are more clean, they live more. So back at that time, they said that the Jews, they did the plague, but the reality was that Baruch Hashem, Jews, they were always clean, they were always washing their hands. 500 years ago, the people were not taking a shower every day or every 2 days. They used to take a shower once in 2 weeks, once in a week. Am Yisrael, always, we had mitzvot. You have to take a shower before Shabbat, a hot shower before Shabbat, to clean everything, before a holiday, before Rosh Chodesh. All the time we were in a physically cleaning process of life, doing Netilat Yadayim, as we said before, and trying to be the cleanest we can. There's also halachot, if you look at the Talmud, that we're not allowed to be dirty. Yeah, and you can't even say Divrei Torah in a dirty place. Let's say there's a bad smell, there's a junk smells, or different things. You're not allowed to say Divrei Torah. You're not allowed to think even about Torah while you're in a place that there's a bad smell in there, while you're in a place that it's not clean. Always Judaism was pro-cleaning and being clean in every situation. So this is used to, Baruch Hashem, keep us away from a lot of diseases. And also in the time of Louis Ferstel, was one of the people that found out the bacteria. Yeah, people didn't know about bacteria, but in the Talmud, for example, 2,000 years ago, Masechet Derech Eretz, it says that there is bacteria. And it says that a person, when we drink wine of Kiddush, if a person is sick, he should not give to other person to drink from the same cup of wine, because there's something in there that can cause the disease to go from one person to another person. So what Louis Ferstel found out a few hundred years ago, we see that the Talmud was talking about that 2,000 years ago. And the Jews were always keeping those rules, Baruch Hashem. And it says even in the Gemara that if a person, for example, gets a scratch or a wound from a metal, so it says in the Gemara that sometimes we can even break Shabbat because of that. And the reason is, today we understand that the metal has a rust. And the rust has a lot of bacteria. The bacteria, chas v'shalom, can go into the blood, and chas v'shalom, the person can die. This is already, the Talmud writes this 2,000 years ago. You can break Shabbat if that's what's happening. Today, Baruch Hashem, we do we have the vaccine. Yeah, tetanus, we have the vaccine. But back in those days, it was very, very dangerous. If you get a scratch even from a metal that has a rust, for sure you can break Shabbat. So Am Yisrael, the Talmud, they knew all those things, all those bacteria, how clean we should be, and that's a main thing in Judaism. Also, there is we learn that we have to be clean from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. There's a very interesting book, this book called Tomer Dvorah. We spoke about that book a few times, I guess. This book is a book that wrote Rabbi Moshe Cordovero. He lived 500 years ago in the time of Arizan in Tzfat. He was one of the greatest Kabbalists in the history. He wrote a whole commentary on the Talmud. It's called on the Zohar. It's called Or Yakab, and he wrote a lot of Kabbalah books that we study till today, Baruch Hashem. And Rabbi Moshe Cordovero has one book that is Kabbalah, but it's a Kabbalah for everyone. Yeah, everyone can read that book. because it's pretty simple. It's very deep, but it's also, you can understand it in the simple level. This book called Tomer Dvorah. It says also in today there's an English edition of that book. And also the Admor Mitzanz, it says that a person that has cancer, God forbid, if he studied this book, mamash, from beginning to end, and even few times, it's not a very long book, it's a very short book. If he studied that book, it has a segula, it has a power to remove the cancer in a miracle way. So, and I saw that in a few people that did it, Baruch Hashem, and it will really help them with this disease. And so this book is a very special book. This book is built on a statement that it says in the Torah and the Talmud. The statement says, Mahu afata, that our mission, our goal in life is to be like God. Why? Because Hashem created us so we can enjoy. Yeah, that's the purpose of life. That's what we see people that always, we look for enjoyment. That's our main things in life. We look for enjoyment. Every place that can make me happy, give me an enjoyment, I will do it. So that's the purpose of life, and the enjoyment should be from the source of enjoyment, the source of everything, which is the infinite, which is Hashem. Yeah, everything has a light of Hashem, and everything. For example, now I drink this juice, and this juice, it's tasty, and I enjoy that juice because Hashem is in it. The light of the infinite. That's what Kabbalah teaches. The light of Hashem, a spark of Hashem is in that, and that's what give me pleasure. I connect with Hashem. So the main goal is to connect with Hashem. So therefore we have the infinite enjoyment, which is the goal of life, which is why HaKadosh Baruch Hu created us. But in this world, in the physical world, we have to work so we can accept that enjoyment in the right way. So it says in that book that the mission is to get the infinite enjoyment by connecting ourselves to the infinite, to Hashem. How can you be connected to Hashem? The way to be connected to Hashem is to be similar to Him. So whatever Hashem is, or whatever we understand Hashem is, we have to be like Him. And like in life, when you see someone that is similar to you, looks like you, behaves like you, thinks like you automatically connect to Him. Same thing, this rule applies to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When we behave kind of like Hashem, so we connect to Him automatically. So one of the ways to connect to Hashem, as we said, the mission of life is to do what Hashem is doing, to be what Hashem is. So this is all book is built on that thing. And Rabbi Moshe Cordovero says, Kivyachol, to our understanding, or we can understand what is Hashem and how can we behave the same way. So the first thing there, it says that Hashem is Baal Chesed. Hashem is always doing kindness. Yeah, Hashem is not taking. He doesn't need nothing. So He's always giving. That's why the main thing in life is to be a giver. Yeah, the more we take, so we disconnect ourselves from the source, from Hashem, which is a giver. Hashem doesn't need nothing. And even when we take, we need to take so we can after that give. That's the proper way of taking things in life, right? So that's one of the things. And it goes, there's 13 different things, midot, behaviors, kivyachol, that Hashem is symbolized by. So we have to connect to Him by doing the same things. One of the things is clean. Yeah? If we look at the creation, okay, anything that is clean, it's also considered pure. Yeah, pure, clean, it's the same section. And when we look at the creation that Hashem created, we see that the creation is very clean. Even, let's say, when you go to the forest or to the desert, you will realize that somehow the world clean itself. Once when there was snowing here in Canada, it was like really snowing, and there was so much snow, and it made a whole balagan. There was so much snow, you cannot move, and also there was dust together with the snow. The snow became like black, and it was not nice, it was not clean. But right away after that, Baruch Hashem, after a while, the sun comes and all the snow melts and somehow cleans everything, and everything becomes naturally clean. Go to the forest, places where there's no people. Look at this in the summer or in the winter, any time during the year, you will see how clean is everything without a human being coming and putting things in their place. The world cleans itself. Even those leaves that come down, and you see all those leaves, before the winter, right after a few months, even if you don't clean them, they're gonna melt and they become a part of creation. Everything becomes clean again. We see that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created a very clean world that knows how to clean itself. Same thing is our body. Our body, everything you put in, you get in, it cleans it, takes all the bad chemicals or whatever we eat that we don't need in the body. The body has a system, throws it away. How? When you go to the washroom, go to the bathroom, when you sweat, when we cough, people coughing, they taking away all those bad chemicals, the things that the body doesn't need. The body knows how to clean itself. And so we see the beauty how Hashem created everything, and tells us that this is what Hashem is. Hashem like things that are clean. The world is clean. Everything is going to that point of being clean. That's why if we want to connect to Hashem, we have to be clean. People that are always there's mess in their house, they don't put things in place, and they live like this. That's their way of life. The Arizal says it means something in their soul is ruined. Something there, it's not, because the neshama, our soul, wants to be connected to Hashem. Our soul is clean in the source of the soul. It's clean. The mess comes from the klipot, from the bad sides. That's why, for example, those places when there's a bad smell, when it's unclean, we're not allowed to say Divrei Torah. You want to say a Torah, you want to watch a Torah lecture, at those places you're not allowed to. Why? Because at those places there's a lot of klipot, there's a lot of bad energies. Those bad energies, they suck from the Torah that you will learn there. They take the holiness, the kedusha, the purity of whatever you say or whatever bracha you do. They take it and they use it, so you basically give power to the other side, to the bad powers, and this is not allowed. That's why a person should not say a bracha when he needs to go to the bathroom. If he really needs, the Gemara says, if you know that you cannot hold yourself for 72 minutes, you're not allowed to say any blessing right now. You have to go to the washroom to clean yourself. Then you're allowed to say a blessing. Then you're allowed to say Divrei Torah. If you're located in places when there's a lot of junk, and it smells, or even if it's not smells, but you're very close to it, 2 meters from it, you're not allowed to talk to your friend Divrei Torah, not on the phone, not even listening to a lecture. Why? You give power to the bad side. So we see that there's a clear connection between those physically unclean places to impurity, things that are not pure. So why? Because the physical world and the spiritual world are connected to each other. Any place that it's not clean, right away the bad forces located at that place. That's why a person that wants to grow spiritually, you cannot do that unless you work on cleaning yourself, being clean, wearing clean clothes. It says in the Talmud, Talmid Chacham sheyesh lo revav al bigdo chayav mita. We have to understand what they say, but they say that if a Talmid Chacham and a rabbi or someone that knows a lot of Torah, if he has a stain on his clothes, chayav mita, chaz v'shalom, it's a very big sin, it's chilul Hashem. And he cannot stay a Talmid Chacham, he cannot stay a rabbi. He has to be clean. Why? Because he has a lot of Torah. If he has a stain on his shirt, what's happening? The bad forces comes right away. They can take a lot of holiness from him, a lot of kedusha from him, because he has a lot. He's a Talmid Chacham, he knows a lot of Torah. Especially people that study Kabbalah. Kabbalah, it's a very, very high light. It's a big light that we bring to ourselves. But then you, if you are not clean person, Chaz v'Shalom smell bad, Chaz v'Shalom has a lot of stains and doesn't take care of yourself, you give a place to those bad forces to take this energy, the holiness from you. And that's why the Gemara says, if someone wears clothes that are not clean, and if he does it a lot of times and it becomes a habit, what happens to that person? He comes to shigaon, he becomes crazy. And I saw it a lot with a lot of people that I see, with patients and other people that are, sometimes you don't understand what happened to you. A person was good, he was normal, and suddenly he becomes like crazy things. He has a lot of anxiety, and he has bipolar or different things. A lot of time I saw it, because the person always in a messy place. He's always doesn't care of himself. He doesn't clean himself. Doesn't take a shower when it's needed. All those things, even though it's physical things, but they really affect our soul to that extent that, as we said, Movila Shigaon, it brings a person, it can be crazy. Rabbi Chaim Palaji says that if a person he has let's say you have a shirt and you throw the shirt on the floor, and he says if it stayed there the whole night and it was not in a clean place, it was on the floor for a whole night, if you will wear it like this in the morning, there's a lot of negative energies there, because every clothes we wear, because we do mitzvot, we are Jews, Baruch Hashem, every Jew has something that he does. You do mitzvot, you do good things, you bring a lot of holiness to yourself. It's like an aura around you, and this aura stays on your clothes. Then you take this aura, you throw it on the floor. On the floor, it's all the mezikim, all the bad forces. They can come, and they can suck a little bit of energy from there, and they stay there. Next time you're gonna wear that, if you wear that, what's gonna happen? They get closer to you, and Chaz v'Shalom, they can harm you spiritually. To that extent that a person he gets pchadim. Pchadim is he gets he gets anxiety. Yeah, that's the word. He gets anxiety because of those things. So Rabbi Chaim Palach says what to do in such a case. He says it should not happen, but if the clothes was on the floor for the whole night, before you wear it again, you have to shake it for 3 times at least, yeah, and then wear it again. It's very important. And we see this concept of shaking the clothes. We do it sometimes. We do it a few times. For example, when we do Birkat HaLevana, the blessing of the moon, it's we get a very high light at that moment. That's why we shake. After that, we shake our jackets. So because again, we got such a big light, right away those negative forces come and they want to take a little bit of energy from us. What we do, we shake our clothes and it takes them away. That's what the Arizal say. Same thing here. Rabbi Chaim Palaji says if someone doesn't always throw his clothes in a messy place on the floor, doesn't respect them, that's what happens, and Chaz v'Shalom, that cause a lot of those things. We see in the Gemara Masechet Pesachim also, the Gemara says after a person takes a haircut, he needs to do Natilat Yadayim, he needs to wash his hands 3 times. Why? He says if he's not doing it, he can get anxiety, he can get pchadim, he can get pahad, to be scared of something. Yeah, without a reason, just this pachad, he becomes, he get that anxiety from who? From those bad negative forces. Why? He was not clean when he needed to be. Because when you take a haircut, so you take the judgments away. Hair, it's judgments. When you take a haircut, so you cut the judgments. When you cut the judgments, the negative forces, they feel, okay, you are provoke us. Yeah, because you're cutting us. What they do right away, they come to that person. If he's not clean, Chaz v'Shalom, they can come closer to him and harm him somehow spiritually. And if it does it a lot of times, it can cause anxiety as well. So what we do, the Ben Ish Chai says, very important, netilat yadayim, wash your hands. That's why in a barber shop, in a Jewish barber shop, they have a cup of netilat yadayim right after you take a haircut. Also when you shave, after you shave, it's good also to do the same and to do netilat yadayim. After we cut our nails, again, we cut the nails. The nails, it's the place where those negative forces come in and they take the energy, because the nail, we made a whole lecture on that as well. The nails represent the holiness of Adam Arishon, because that's the leftovers of the body of Adam, because he was all nail. That's what the Midrash say. So there's a lot of holiness there. When we grow the nails, they can come and they take some of that holiness, of that energy from us and connect to us, those bad forces. So what we do, we cut them. When we cut them, they feel, oh, you provoke us. So what we do, right away we clean ourselves, and that's where we avoid also anxiety. So we see that being clean in general, do netilat yadayim, wash your hands, all those things, it's not just the physical things that we, of course, we have to, we are representative of God. We represent Hashem in the world. People look at us as the chosen nation until today. So for sure we have to be clean, but also spiritually, if we want to protect ourselves spiritually, one of the most important things is to be clean. So if we want to be close to Hashem, we have to do whatever He does. What Hashem is doing, Hashem is clean. Hashem is cleaning the world. Hashem made a clean world that knows how to clean itself, clean body that knows how to clean. Everything is cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. That's why when we clean our body, take care of ourselves, stay clean, this means we're getting closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, getting closer to Hashem, doing our mission in life. Another thing it says in the Gemara and the Talmud that if Hashem would not give the Torah to the Jewish nation, we would study how to be like a good behavior. We would study it from the animals, because every animal has one thing that it does that it's proper, that it's like that we can learn from it. So for example, the Gemara says we will learn loyalty from the dog. The dog is very loyal, and we will learn to not steal from the ant. Why? Because the ant, it says that when the ant goes and see, let's say, a small rice, and wants to take that rice, but the rice is too big, she's so small. So what she does, she goes back home to call her friends to come and help her with that rice. So then there's thousands of ants go through that rice after this ant saw the rice, and they all smell that rice. They smell that there was another ant that was looking at that rice. They smell her smell, so they avoid touching that rice. They don't steal. That's something Hashem put in their system. It's an instinct, but we will learn it from the animals. Every animal has something special. The Gemara brings down a lot of examples. One of the examples is we would study modesty and being clean from the cat. The cats are very modest and clean. You look at them; they're very clean themselves all the time. And even when they go, they do the bathroom. So what they do, they always cover. That's why their name is Chatul. Chatul in Hebrew is from the word mechatel, to cover. So because they cover all the time, the number 2, they cover it, and they not just cover it. After they cover, pay attention. They smell, and if there's still smell, they cover it more. They even not just modest, so nobody would see what they did. Also, they don't want the smell to spread. That's how the cat is built. We study from that. The Gemara says we should study from it that the same thing is with us. We have to be clean, always going in a clean places. Arizal says especially places that smell bad, it's very bad for the soul, because we have the Arizal says we have 7 gates to the soul. The soul gets all its information from outside, from the external world, from 7 places: 2 ears, 2 eyes, the 2 holes of the nose, and the mouth, which is 7. But all of those, the ears, the eyes, all those holes in our body that the soul receives information from outside, it says, Ari HaKadosh says that those holes, they were all affected by the sin of Adam. Adam HaRishon, in the first sin, he ruined all of those places. So it says that Chava looked at the fruit and she had a desire to the fruit after she looked at it. And she listened to the snake. It's also the ears. And they tasted from the fruit, so it's the mouth. But there was one thing that they didn't do. They didn't smell. They didn't smell the fruit. Right away they ate it. So the smell was not ruined by the sin of Adam HaRishon. That's why everything we smell goes directly to the soul. Directly. It doesn't go through the body. It directly goes to the soul and affects her. That's why a person that always smells, good aromas. There's a whole, sometimes I also do it with people. There's a way to heal people with different aromas. Why? It heals the soul. When you smell something good, it heals you. It says, the Arizal Kadosh says that if a person has a lot of judgments on him, he feels a bad time, a bad mood, or things are not going well in life, one of the suggestions that Arizal would say to do is to take right away something, a good aroma to smell, to make a blessing on it, because we have to bless, because we enjoy it. So for example, you take mint, and you say, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu Melech HaOlam Borei Isbeh Besamim. It's a bush, so it's Isbeh Besamim. And you smell it 3 times. Yeah, 1 for Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, 3 parts of the soul. And he says that just by smelling that, all the judgments are here in the nose. So you can cancel with this good aroma and blessing all the bad judgments that are on that person. And the mood will change, and everything will change, the luck will change. Just by smelling something. You can heal a person by smelling something, because the smell goes right away to the soul and heals the soul, or Chaz v'Shalom ruins the soul. That's what Arizal says, to avoid any bad smell, to not get into, even when you go to, I don't know, a place that you have you have to, I don't know, you have junk in your house, you have to throw it away. You go with smelling. Try to smell to minimize that as much as you can, because that's putting your soul down. Or if you smell good aroma, can put your soul up. So here we see another thing in smell and cleaning. It comes together. A clean place will smell good, an unclean place will smell bad. That's another connection between the soul and the body in cleaning. Now there's what happens to people. By the way, we were talking about smell. I just remembered that you can pay attention that babies, for example, they really smell good. Yeah, I remember when all my kids, when they were born, one of the first thing I did, I smelled them. It was such a good smell, and the reason why, and they smell good for a while, for a lot of time. Yeah, they really smell good. And why is that? Is because they are pure. They are pure. They didn't do nothing bad yet, and up until they grow a little bit, and then it changes. But that shows us clearly that pure, holy, and clean comes together. When somebody is pure inside, and he goes by the laws of Hashem, he goes by the laws of the world, eats properly. Yeah, for example, today people smell bad because they don't eat properly. That's why they put the deodorant and all those stuff. Back then in the days, they even didn't brush their teeth. They didn't need to, because they were eating properly. When you eat properly, and we check that, it's something that for example, vegan people, that they eat better than others. They don't have smell like people that eat always meat and they eat white bread and all those artificial things that today, all the snacks and things. Of course, they're gonna have more of a bad smell. Why? Because a bad smell means all the bad chemicals that you put inside your system goes away. Yeah, the system cleans itself all the time. So that's why all this bad chemicals comes away, which is good that they come away, but it produces a bad smell. That's why the more clean you are, it means you go by the book, you go by the rules of creation. If it's in the physical level, proper eating, proper behavior. If it's in the spiritual level, so keeping the laws of Hashem, and that that means you clean spiritually, you clean physically, and it affects each other. Yeah, when you clean, when you behave in a clean way, physically, it affects the soul, and the same thing is vice versa also. Now the Gemara says, what happened to a person that doesn't take a shower enough or clean himself? And the Gemara says, for example, in Masechet Nedarim, that in our hair, when there's too much mess in the hair, when it's not clean for a long time, it can cause, those bad chemicals can go inside and cause a problem in the vision. Person can even get blind. Why? Because he's not washing his hair. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara also says that, like we said before, that it can cause, when a person, his clothes is not clean, it can cause anxiety and can cause even being crazy. It says also that a person every day, he should wash his face. Rabbi Aaron Birchiadi Modina, one of the big Kabbalists 400 years ago, he says in his book Ma'avar Yabok that every day you should wash your face 3 times. Why? He says there's a secret according to Kabbalah, and also you have to prepare yourself to stand in front of Hashem. You're gonna talk to Hashem, say Modeh Ani Lefanecha and Netilat Yadayim and go to pray. You have to show Hashem, I'm coming to serve you while I'm clean. And if you don't do that, if you don't wash your eyes, you don't wash your face in the morning, he says, Sholtim alav kochot adim, all the negative forces comes to you and they control you. That's what he says. So it's very important. We wash our hands, netilat yadayim, but also wash the face. And if you can do it 3 times, it's even better. 1 time is also enough. And the Ben Ish Chai says that if a person was shocked because of something, let's say something happened and he got a shock, or he got scared, so for this to not affect him, this scare, because sometimes someone gets scared or shocked and it stays. Yeah, I see a lot of people like that they come to our clinic and there was a trauma in their life, and from that moment they can't function. And the Ben Ish Chai says, if such a thing happens to a person, if you will wash his face right away 3 times, it will go away. Why? Because this thing, this shock, the whatever they was scared of, it's a spiritual thing. They gave to those bad forces which cause all the problems to get in. And when it gets in, it's hard to take it out. But if you wash your face 3 times, it goes away, because Mayim is chesed, water has a lot of positive energy, takes away all those things. If you do it right away 3 times, wash your hands, it really helps. Also, it says in Shulchan Aruch that when a baby is born, we right away do netilat yadayim to the baby. Right away we wash his, right after he's born. And sometimes the nurse and all those people in the hospital, they don't understand, like he just was born, well, why you need to wash his hands? Everything is clean. But it's also spiritual. It says that a baby, and I asked a few muhalim, people that do Brit Milah, there's a lot of time that a baby has a jaundice, and you cannot do Brit Milah, it's a hevet, he has jaundice. So it says in the holy books that if you do netilat yadayim every day that you do netilat yadayim, it takes away a little bit of that jaundice all the time. And we saw it mamash every kid that you don't Netilat Yadayim right away, and if you continue every day, jaundice go away immediately in few days, and then you can do the Brit Milah. And that's something that I asked a Moher that did 4,000 Brit Milahs in his life. He said this works all the time. That's what he told me. So you see that it has a very, very big effect on our soul, and also on the physical body, being clean, spiritually and physically. Ari HaKadosh says, any place that is unclean, any place that there's a bad smell, any place that there's a mess, the klipot are there. The bad forces are there. Be careful. That's why it's very important to stay clean. Also, Arizal says also that brings a story. There's a story, not the Arizal, but it's a story from Rabbi Meir Shapira. Yeah, one of the Rosh Yeshivas of Lublin Yeshiva. That's how he was checking his students, people that, he wanted to know the level of his students, if from which student is going to be like a big rabbi or whatever. The way he was checking it, he was purposely putting things on the floor, tissues and doing a little bit of mess by purpose in the Bet Midrash, in the synagogue, and he wanted to see which student will pick it up and put it in the garbage. He wanted to see who is spiritually, affected. Because when you see something that is not on a place and it bothers you want the place to be clean, it's a good sign. I'm not talking about those people that they have a problem, they sick, everything has to be perfect. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a normal person that sees something that cause mess, that it's not in a place, and he says, okay, people and me, we should not sit in a place when there's a little bit of mess. Mafriya lo, it bothers him, and he picks it up and put it in the garbage. That means his soul is clean. That means he has a big potential. That's how he was checking students. Sometimes a new student that wanted to come to his yeshiva, he would get him, told him, take 1 week, try the yeshiva, and we will decide if you're accepted or not accepted. He was purposely putting those things on the floor. If he would not pick it up, he would see that he's missing something. He's missing the most important part of Judaism, which is being clean physically and spiritually. So that's what he used to do. And that says a lot about the person. Yeah, the soul, our soul, each one of our soul is clean and pure. That's why a person that his soul is dominant in his life, he would always look, and he will always want the place that he is in to be clean, the clothes that he wears to be clean. For him, cleaning gonna be a very important thing. Yeah. So, like the Ramchal says, Nekiyut mevia lidat tahara, being clean brings you to tahara, to be a pure person, to grow spiritually. And that's why we have Pesach also. By the way, Pesach is a day that HaKadosh Baruch Hu says you have to clean the chametz, but we also clean other things. Why? Because cleaning, on Pesach we get our soul. You cannot get your soul when everything is mess. When there's too mess in your physical house, it means that there's a mess in your spiritual soul. Because if you look into Kabbalah teaches on Halachot Pesach, on the laws of Pesach, that when we do Bdikat Chametz, you light the candle and you go and you check for the Chametz. So why do we check for the Chametz? So the simple explanation is because maybe I forgot, we cleaned the whole house, maybe I forgot something somewhere, so I go. But the real reason why we go with that candle is because every room in our house symbolizes a certain room in our soul. If that room before Pesach is empty of chametz, we light a candle, we light a light, we have to make sure that everything is clean in every room. And when everything is clean in every room, it means our soul cleans also. So our physical life in this world, every room in our life in this world, symbolize a room in our soul. When the room is clean, the soul is clean. When we're cleaning the room, we clean the soul. And I have to tell you a story that will explain it even more. Maybe we said that story in one of the lectures. I don't remember in what language. In the Hebrew lecture, for sure I did it, but maybe in the English ones as well. But this story we should listen a few times even. There was a story with the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh 200 years ago, 250 years ago. And there was a person that he was very poor. Was a very poor person and didn't have money. And he tried to do a lot of different jobs, different things, and nothing was successful. He stayed poor and he didn't understand why. So one time he heard about the Baal Shem Tov. He says, okay, I'm going to go to the Baal Shem Tov to ask for a blessing. He went to the Baal Shem Tov, and the Baal Shem Tov says, yes, what's your question? He says, listen, Rabbi, I'm always, I don't have money at home, I'm poor, and I'm trying different jobs, nothing works for me. I don't know why my luck is stuck. I feel I have no luck. I have no mazal. Please help me to get a mazal, to remove those blocks, to have shefa, to have blessing of income, of parnasa. So the Baal Shem Tov was talking to him, and then the Baal Shem Tov says, okay, if you want, I can help you. So I want you to do something. He says, yeah, everything you will tell me, I'll do. So Baal Shem Tov told him, I want you to go home, and you have at home a lot of, he said it in Yiddish, shmatis. Yeah, shmatis is all the dirty or the unused clothes that you have. Shmatis means like a very old shirts, pants, all those shmatis. It's old things. You have those, in your storage. I want you to bring it to me. Now he was a very poor person. That's why poor people, they are afraid. Maybe something will happen. They will be even more poor, and they always keep things at home. They always have shmatis. They have all those old things that there's no use for them already. It's old already, yeah. But they leave it for a bad day. So he told him, I want you to take them all away and give me your shmatis. So he came home. It was hard for him, but he did it. He took all those old clothes and gave it to the Baal Shem Tov. Then the Baal Shem Tov told him no. He had the Ruach HaKodesh. He knew what's happening in his house. He told him, you have more. At that room you have more, and at that room you have more, and that room you have more. So he went home. He gave all of that, gave it to the Baal Shem Tov. Now he didn't understand what the Baal Shem Tov wants to do with all this, but the Rabbi said, I do. Then the Baal Shem Tov told him, yes, but you have also other things that are very old that you keep in your storage, not just clothes. You have the old bicycle, you have an old different items, objects in your life. Bring all of them, all the shmatas, all the old things that you don't use, give it to me. I want them. Okay, he went home and he took everything and gave it to Baal Shem Tov. The Baal Shem Tov, he said, my Baal Shem Tov, my house is like more than half empty now. So then the Baal Shem Tov told him, now you can go home and you will have mazal and you will have income, you will have parnasa. You can go home, everything will be fine. And Be'emet, from that moment, he came home, everything started to work. He got a job and he became a rich person. From being poor, he became a rich person. This story was very known. All the students of the Baal Shem Tov knew that story. They heard about that. And one time they were discussing, after learning, they were talking about that story with that guy, with that poor guy that came to the Baal Shem Tov. It was such a miracle. And then they were asking each other, how come, what was the reason that this person actually got rich? So they said it's for sure because he listened to the tzaddik. When you listen to the rabbi, this gives you bracha. The rabbi told him something that is not logical, but he still did it. So he had a faith in that rabbi. This has caused that blessing to come to his house. Baal Shem Tov heard that they talking about this, and then he told them, it's nice what you're saying, that the reason why he got rich is because he listened to the rabbi and that's the merit. But he told him that's not the right answer. The reason why he became rich is because he got rid of the shmatis. He got rid of all the mess, all those people that were taking place in his house, and there's no need for them. Those things that are just causing the house to be not clean, and this has caused the house to be full of things, and there's no empty place for the blessing to come. When he got it out, all the shmates, now there's a place for the blessing to come. And we learn from this story that a lot of times we have different things, different items in our house, in our place, that they just take place, especially in our generation, that we have too many things that are not needed. Yeah, mutarot, it's called in Hebrew mutarot, and extra things. Bala Sulam says, always when you have something extra, it causes a problem. All the time. That's how the world, the klipot, the bad forces, they come when there's extra things. When a person eats extra, more than what he needs, problems in health. When you get more money than you need, or you spend more money than you need, problems come. Anything you do more than you need to, in any enjoyment in life, it causes klipot, it causes bad, negative powers to come and ruin that thing. Same thing is with clothes and things that has no use. This is, when we get rid of that, we give a place for the bracha, for the blessing to stay in our house. And that's a big secret. And when I heard it first, I was shocked, because this is what causes blocks in our life, problems in our life. Sometimes, yes, because when a person is too attached to those things that even not important, is too attached to the physical world, he cannot get rid of those things. It squeezes the vessel of getting your blessing from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When you get rid of those unnecessary things, not just in the physical world, also in the spiritual world, there's so much unnecessary feelings that we have inside. I had this guy, and I remember what this girl did to me, and what my parents and brothers and sisters, people have so much mess inside their heart, and this has caused spiritual problems, this has caused mental problems, and then they don't have blessing, then they don't have happiness, because the happiness will come in to a heart that is clean. The same way as we clean the house, we clean our physical body, we have to clean our soul, the emotion system. We have to clean it from all those negative things that we hold inside, this jealousy and those things that we remember and we cannot forget that happened to us in the past, the bad experiences or things that other people did to us. And when we leave it in our system, in the heart, there's no place for the happiness, for the blessing, for all the good things to come in. So when we do that cleaning, we have to make sure we clean the physical body, and also we clean the spirit, we clean the emotions. And there's a very good technique to do so, because Hashem says that everything you do physically, if you have intention, it's also clean you spiritually. So let's say if you, after this lecture, decide, I have to clean my house, I have to clean my office, or anything else, make sure when you clean your office, and have in mind, Hashem, the same way as I clean my office, please, that room symbolizes something in my soul. Clean all those bad negative emotions that I have, those bad thoughts that I always have on other people, that I blame them in my problems, and I blame everybody else. This is staying in me. Please, that room that I clean right now, make in the spiritual worlds that it should be cleaned as well. And it works. It works perfectly. When you do physical things in this world, like we put tefillin, it affects the spiritual world, it affects the soul. Same thing, when you clean your house and you have that in mind, you clean your soul. Stay clean, and Bezrat Hashem, you will grow spiritually.